Brent Key, he appreciates a list, but he doesn't have all of his faith in it. He has his faith in his program and his players as the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets improved to 7-0 after a win over the Duke Blue Devils. Now they come back home to take on Fran Brown's Syracuse Orange team. And Coach Key says, look, it's better to be ranked than not to be ranked. But he says that is not where his focus is going into this week's game.
Our MO here is we put all of our time, all of our energy into things that we can affect the outcome of, right? If we can't control the outcome, if we cannot affect the outcome of it, I mean, that's no different than the end of a game. You cannot control the outcome of a game. All you can control is what you put into it, right? We can't control what we're ranked, right? We can control how we play on any given Saturday, right? We can't control this. We're not going to put time and effort and spend energy on it.
They could win, stay at 7, win, move up to 6, win, slide to 9. He's right. We don't have time for that right now. You don't want the game that takes all of that conversation away from you. And as much as Georgia Tech has done and accomplished, 7-0 for the first time since 1966, you lose one game and you're right back in a pack of a bunch of teams in the ACC with one loss.
Well, not just that. Their margin for error, unfortunately for them, because they don't have a quality win, is 0. Like, literally, it's 0. Yeah. Clemson, unfortunately, by being 3-4, has destroyed what should have been on the resume a quality win. It goes back to the conversation we had last week about ranked or unranked wins. You don't count, and the committee is not going to count Clemson as a quality win with them being 3-4. So Georgia Tech has no margin for error. They're going to have to be 11-1 at worst when they make the ACC championship game to have any chance of making the playoffs. And they can't lose to one of the ACC teams. Now, I take
Virginia?
that back. They don't play Virginia.
They don't play. Who do they have left that's ranked?
Nobody.
Georgia teams.
That's it. Georgia's the only one.
God.
And that's not a conference game, but that's the only chance they have to win a ranked game.
The caveat with that would be, just say you lose to, I don't know, I don't even have their schedule in front of me. You lose to NC State.
All right.
Okay? But you turn around and beat Georgia.
Syracuse, NC State, BC, Pitt, and Georgia.
Pitt's probably the best team left on your schedule. Say you lose to Pitt, but you turn around and beat Georgia, and you go 11-1. You then would have an argument to be an at-large team in the college football playoffs. Outside of that, they have to take care of week by week and keep winning games. And Tech fans know I'm not knocking you. I'm just thinking about it through the lens of the committee. The best thing that could happen to the ACC, Miami not make the ACC title game, but go 11-1, and then the winner of the ACC championship game is going to get in, and you probably get 2 teams.
So there's still a long way to go, even though you've accomplished so much. And in the accomplishment, Coach Brent Key on with Cellini and Domino yesterday says he's happy for his staff, he's happy for his players, but he's also happy for folks who have waited for this moment for a while.
That's awesome for the fans. It's awesome for the school. So great for these players to be able to experience what it's like to be in this situation. And what I'm hoping is that it makes them hungry for more. It makes them hungry for more. I mean, there is no satisfied, filled up mentality. This type of, you can call it pressure if you want, but this type of situation that we're in, I mean, this has got to make you crave it more.
Yeah. You get addicted to the winning. You get addicted to not losing.
Oh, contagious. There's no question about it. You don't know anything different. You just find ways to win games all the time. One of, 5?
There's 6 undefeated teams right now.
All right.
Yep.
It's crazy. It doesn't even seem real.
And the 6 undefeateds, everybody had Vanderbilt, Indiana, Georgia Tech, and Navy at the top of that list. And then it's Ohio State, and there's one other I'm missing.
Well,
Texas A&M. Yeah.
Well, you look at what's ahead of them. They haven't been the most dominant. They haven't been the most explosive. But every time they go out there and get a win, Brent Key says they learn something from it.
Look, college football teams in general, right, they die from the inside out, not the outside in. And that was the lesson of it's die from the inside out, meaning, right, they take their foot off the gas. They lose focus. They become content with where they're at, right? That's how teams die. They think that past success is going to, have any impact on what happens in the future. What happens? They end up dying from the inside, and somebody comes up, and they don't sneak up on them. It's clear as day. And when you look at it, and a lot of times, at this point in the year, it's not necessarily that the other team beat a team. It's that they allowed them during the week to take advantage of their mistakes and the mental mistakes, the preparation.
Toro drill has worked a couple of times. Duke fumbles right there on the doorstep of the goal. You pick it up, you run it in. Game still not decided. You have 10 points going into the fourth quarter. Running game works. You get down by the goal line. You run it in. Mm-hmm. They keep plugging away. They keep giving themselves the opportunity. Years ago, it would be a special teams return, and all of a sudden you find yourself a touchdown or 10 points down when you shouldn't have given up something like that. Now you've cleaned up a lot of things that lose you games,
right.
And now some favor has fallen in their way, and they are executing their way to victories.
They have created their own fortune. That's what they've done. Tie game against Colorado, you get a late touchdown out of Haynes King. Tie game against Clemson, you do the Toro drill. Now, fortunate against Wake Forest. Call it what it is. That was an offsides penalty that wasn't called. Game's over.
Yeah, Georgia's fortunate against Tennessee.
No doubt.
So the seasons happen and games take place the way they do. To your point, though, and Road Dog, make sure to send this to us, college football nerds. Mm-hmm. Real talk, it says, Georgia Tech is at number 7 is absurd. Despite the story, their strength of schedule is 72nd nationally. Mm-hmm. They haven't played a top 40 team per SP. What is that? SP plus?
Yeah.
They should have lost to what you just talked about, 65th ranked Wake Forest. They have them ranked around 26th in theirs.
What's their name? What's the name of this group that's sending this?
College football nerds.
Yeah, of course. They are nerds. Games aren't played on paper and S&P rankings there. That thing also has Auburn ranked above them, who has 4 losses. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, that's cap.
So the strength of schedule thing,
that's right, Joe.
the strength of schedule that they use in these types of things, are they based off of where teams were at the beginning of the year or where they are at that? Because
it's a sliding scale every week.
See, and that to me is BS. Like when you put your schedule together, like I mean, well, you're turning your nose up at this, but like when Notre Dame made its schedule this year, a lot of those teams that they had on their schedule were supposed to be really good teams, and they just haven't turned out to be that way.
Yeah, but you can't reward somebody for what they're supposed to be.
Right.
I mean, Clemson was supposed to be a really good team. They're not. So when you do a strength of schedule, you can't say, well, in July we thought Clemson was great, so we're going to continue to give you credit for beating the 12th ranked team.
No, I get that. But so just kind of like what you were saying with Syracuse this weekend, this is supposed to be a really good team.
100%.
And if they go beat this team and take care of business and stuff, now it's just not seen as good of a win.
Now
but that's not like Georgia Tech's fault.
No, I'm not saying it's Georgia Tech's fault.
But we're going to penalize them for it?
Yes.
Like, so that's where I don't like these things. I don't. To your point, it has to be kind of evaluated by people that know ball and understand that, like.
So if Georgia Tech loses to Syracuse or Pitt, how many spots do you think they drop?
Oh, they're going to tumble.
A lot.
Right.
Yeah, they're going to tumble.
Miami just lost to
Louisville, who's ranked,
and they dropped 7 spots. So you're talking minimum. Yeah. They're going.
And Miami's got wins against teams in the top 25, and they still fell 7 spots.
Right. It would be a deep.
Georgia
dive.
lost to Alabama, and how many did they fall, Road Dog? Like 8?
Yeah, out of the playoffs. That's what I know.
Damn.
Yeah.
It'll be a major situation if Georgia Tech drops one game. But
unless it's to Georgia.
They haven't had the strength of schedule, but there is one thing they have been doing, and that's running the football. They're one of the best rushing teams, no matter who's in front of them, and that is something that has been, played out at home and on the road. And that's really the reason why they are here. They are able to run even when they're down. They've been able to not abandon the run game and find a way to get to an unblemished record.
Haynes King is such a huge part of that. But Malachi Hosley has stepped up big in the last couple weeks. We've gotten to see him. And that's, with the Haynes, kind of not the other Haynes, that is Jamal Haynes, not having the same year we saw from him a year ago, to the degree of, I don't know how much the hammy's still bothering him, but yes, you're right. What were you saying, Finn?
No, this guy brought this to everybody's attention. To LSU, whose best win is Clemson. A&M with 1 ranked win. Oregon, whose best win is Penn State and also has a loss. Vandy, whose best win is LSU, or BYU, whose best win is Utah. Right. So to your point, you got to play the schedule in front of you.
Yeah.
And then however it plays out.
Got to hear a lot about it from people that wanted to tell me how bad Missouri's schedule is, and yet here in front of them they've got Vandy still, they've got A&M still. Who
there you go.
These teams haven't lost anything, and you're supposed to tell me how bad their strength of schedule is, and yet here they are with 2 teams in front of them that are basically undefeated. So I just don't understand. I don't like that barometer.
Don't take any mess from them, Kelly.
Don't go after
any mess from anybody when the season is not finished and there are still big games.
Win the games in front of you.
And take
if if you lose games, then you start arguing, well, you didn't play this team. Who cares? Win the games in front of you.
The worst thing that could have ever happened then was Florida State, what they did to them at, what was 11-1?
No, they were 13-0 and ACC champions. Look, that's the only time in my life I have ever defended Florida State. The college football playoff screwed them, and it buried their program. That day, their program died.
Yikes.
Because there's still video of Mike Norvell sitting there on that chair, kind of slumped over. And then they quit, the culture to quit against Georgia. They didn't want to show up against
100%.
Georgia. They lost 63-3, and they've never recovered. They're 5-19 since they got snubbed. 5-19.
You have to wonder if they had a chance to go into a playoff, if they had played and not had all those guys set out what that would have done for recruiting and the building of a program. You're right, I never thought about it like that.
You think about it, even if they go in the playoffs and lose, and they weren't going to win with Brock Glenn or whoever the heck the quarterback was. But that team had Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, Tatum Bethune, who we just got to know really well at middle linebacker. That team would have
How come we didn't block him? I don't understand what that was about.
Because he was wearing number 48. We didn't think he was any good.
Yeah, he was having a day. And they won that game, the ACC title game, with defense.
Right. They beat Louisville 16-6.
They didn't even get a chance to put their defense out in front of Will. So that's their lot in life.
If they were in the SEC, they would have been in.